Welcome to a new series that I call Ultimate Universe Classics. This is just a special, just to kick off the series. And for this particular special, this is going to be in 3 parts. And I'm going to be covering Ultimates 3, considered to be one of the worst titles published under Marvel's Ultimate line, published from the year 2000 to the year 2015. And to start off with, we're going to do the first. I'm going to do kind of similar to how Lewis Lovehog did it on his channel, on his show, where the first part I covered the first 2 issues, second part I cover issues 3 and 4, and then the finale I cover issue 5. Okay, now the first thing I wanted to talk about is how in this tray we have this fold-out cover. This is actually very similar to the actual cover of the first issue. Look at this thing. This thing is freaking huge. Yeah, it's basically a full thing of issue 1. And by the way, issue 1 is a gatefold cover. I am not kidding about that. It was. Now, a little bit of history for this thing. It's the 3rd series featuring the Ultimates. Originally, the series was supposed to be 6 issues, but for some reason, it was cut down to 5 for some reason, and the artist, Joe Madureira, I've also heard that this is supposed to be his comeback after some thing that happened to him a few years prior to this coming out. By the way, this book came out in 2008. Yeah, I think so. Let me double check that just to be sure. Well, it came out from 2007 to 2008. Basically coming out around just prior to the events of Secret Invasion in the regular 616 universe. And the Ultimate Universe is simply where, with the exception of Spider-Man, almost a lot of the characters are jerks, cannibals, and basically... I mean, there's some good stuff with the Ultimate Universe. I mean, there's also good stuff with the Ultimates. I will review the first 2 Ultimates later on, but I want to start with this one because I've got this trade. Now, in Ultimates 3, which takes place after Ultimate Power, which, by the way, this has better artwork than Ultimate Power because Greg Land is a bad artist. Though he is good at drawing backgrounds, he's not good at drawing characters. The issue starts out with a sex tape that was linked to the internet. A sex tape featuring Tony Stark and the Black Widow. Yep. In Ultimates 2, they had a relationship where they actually, well, besides doing this, they actually briefly were engaged until everyone found out that she was a traitor. And she died in the previous series. Yeah, she's gone. And the lineup at this point in time for the Ultimates is Iron Man, Wasp, Quicksilver, Scarlet Witch, Hawkeye, and Captain America. Hank Pym at this point is not on the team because he got kicked off about halfway through Ultimates 1. Because they beat up the Wasp. That's the reason why. Though in here she's acting... Oh, and I almost forgot. The writer is Jeff Loeb. A guy prior to this who actually wrote a lot of really good stories. And this book, and this series, is considered to be one of his worst he's ever done. Probably his second one. Second worst. His worst is Ultimatum. Now... Yeah, and this whole scene, it's completely pointless. And everybody's like, oh yeah, we got to, and Tony's drunk because he drinks a lot because he has a brain tumor. Yeah. So, Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch has to be excused from seeing the sex tape of Black Widow and Iron Man. And then we kind of wait to see where Venom basically punches through the wall. Why is he here? Completely unexplained. Yeah, he punches through the wall, beats up the Ultimates. Hawkeye shoots at him. Yeah, Hawkeye basically at this point lost his family. Yeah, Mark Millar wrote the previous books. And then Black Panther shows up. Yeah, I'll tell you who he really is later, but he's the most confusing thing about this series because he's one of the things that's never really explained that much. So he just beats him up with these, I'd say, kind of like brass knuckles. And then he beats him up, takes him outside, and then, this is weird, Venom picks the guy up and throws the guy half across town. And then, of course, Hawkeye just starts comes toward him and starts shooting him again. Well, I think he starts shooting him. Then all of a sudden, Valkyrie shows up. Yeah, this is Valkyrie in... Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Valkyrie's in the team too. Yeah, she's a 19-year-old woman, and she's in a relationship with Thor. I'm not kidding. And he keep asking, "You're not the one. Where is she?" Who is he talking about? Never explained at all. Yeah, and we see Valkyrie slice him in half. Oh, in case you're wondering, why the heck does Valkyrie dress like this? This is what she looks in the Ultimate Universe. In the regular universe, she wears this all-black thing with... Her look is actually quite different. If you look at Wikipedia, they actually do show what she looks like in 616. Yeah, she slices him up, and then all of a sudden, where Venom is about to kill her with her sword, and then Thor shows up and shocks him. Oh, and Venom is drawn like his 616 counterpart. Yeah, it's never explained why. My guess is it's because the artist was used to drawing a 616 version of these characters, but at least he got the ultimate version of some characters right. Yeah, then, of course, Venom was taken out, and apparently no one was inside the symbiote. And then Thor and Valkyrie make out. And, of course, Hawkeye is shooting it because he's acting nuts. The guy's got a death wish. Yeah, and well, I was like, what's wrong with you? And Clint's acting crazy. And then he decides to go find the Panther. Okay. Now here comes something that really ticked a lot of people off, especially when it comes... Heck, even Lewis Lovehawk calls it disgusting. Basically, on this page, this is basically... At this point in the comic, we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 pages in, and it's revealed that Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, the ultimate versions of these two really cool characters, are in an incestuous relationship. I am not kidding. Now, I know that early on, they were kind of... It was stated before they revealed their brother and sister that, oh yeah, they're the human lover. That's what Toad called them in 616. And here, yeah, let's just make them have themselves be in an incestuous relationship. Yes. This by far is very disgusting. I do not know why Loeb did this for, but he did. Even Cap points out this is kind of dumb. And of course, Quicksilver is acting very mopey about it because he's very protective of his sister. I mean, I get the fact that you have twins who are protective of each other, fine. But putting them in an incestuous relationship, no. No, no. As for why Loeb did this, I have honestly no idea. I don't think he's ever been asked of why he put these two characters, had these two revealed to be in a incestuous relationship. I mean, I think it was maybe implied in the previous two books that these two were close to each other, but not where they're having incestuous stuff. But at least the one thing I can praise for this series is that at no point do you see Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch making out or in bed together butt-ass nude at any point in this comic. Not even in flashbacks. Yeah, of course, Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch could just go out in town with Wanda putting on a coat, and of course, Wasp, basically, yeah, they're in love. Even Cap's like, why? Yeah, and so someone like, yeah, their PR are all about the sex video. Listen to this about it. And it basically goes out to find the Black Panther. It says life is, yeah, and in the previous book they had a relationship. The one thing that even Lewis Lovehawk pointed this out, why in the world, now normally Wasp's wings are basically only supposed to come out when she's shrunk down, not when she is a normal sized. Yeah, this is a plot hole that even Lewis Lovehawk pointed out. I'm like, why was this not pointed out? Heck, even while rereading this, there is no explanation of why her wings are shown like this. I mean, yeah, she's got wings. But they only show up whenever she's shrunk down to 6 inches, not when she's full size. This is never explained. One of the many things about this book that is never explained. I've never heard anybody bring this up, of why in the world the Wasp's wings are showing when she's full size. The only time they're supposed to be showing when they're shrinking. Heck, even in the previous books, even the previous 2 Ultimate books, basically had it where her wings never showed at all. They're always like very small. Why are they regularly sized? Never explained. I mean, yeah, a lot of their stuff is never explained, but this, I have never heard anybody bring up this plot hole. Never. This is just a plot hole. I think it's just an obvious plot hole that nobody brings up. And then we see Janet go down to the basement, which apparently also Hank Pym, and in case you're wondering where the heck these people are, they're not in the Transkelion. They're in Tony Stark's mansion, and Hank Pym is under house arrest. So Wasp goes check on her ex-husband. Yeah, they're divorced, and figure out like why is he responding to him like security clearance, and of course talk about the Panther stuff like that. Yeah, and basically we have it where, oh, he ate too much pudding. Yeah, I've heard about this joke from Lewis Lovehog. Yeah, this is actually quite funny. Yeah, he's knocked out for some reason. Of course, it is explained. This thing is explained later. And then we see Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch on the street, and then they were like, oh yeah, let's just pose, and then yeah, and apparently Quicksilver's about to veil his love for his sister, like he's going to bang her right there. And then, like, a bullet gets fired, and he chases after the bullet for a few panels, and the bullet goes right through his hand, and it hits Wanda. And then she's like, "Oh no!" Like, yeah, Pietro's shocked, and all of a sudden this doctor shows up. It's implied this is supposed to be the ultimate version of Donald Blake because Thor in the Ultiverse does not have a human identity. So he treats her for a bit, and then the issue ends with saying, she's dead. Kind of like the play on basically what Dr. McCoy would say, he's dead, Jim. He's dead, Jim. The captain's dead. Well, you kind of say that's kind of a line of play on that, but yeah, she's dead. Yep, that's the end of issue 1. Yeah, here's the cover for issue 2, and I'll explain exactly. Yeah, it's Cap versus Sabretooth. This does happen. So we have and we open up and see Spider-Man just web slinging. Haven't seen that before. He lay on top of a cop car, and he just flies around, and then he gets shot by Hawkeye. Yep, on this 2-page spread. Yep, at least it's not something turning on the side. Yeah. He shoots him, talks to him like, yeah, maybe gone crazy. He shoots him. Yeah, Hawkeye spends most of his time shooting Spider-Man, either at Spider-Man or shooting him personally. He spends the next few pages doing this while he's looking for the Black Panther. And of course, this is a scene that goes nowhere. Yeah, he is webbed up and he gets taken out. And of course, Spider-Man gets knocked out, and then, of course, the mission is aborted because he's looking for the Black Panther. Doesn't need back at base ASAP. So, what the he's my responsibility now? And Spider-Man gets knocked out, and he's never seen the comic again, despite the fact on the gatefold cover of issue 1 that Spider-Man's going to appear in the series. He appears in the book for, let's see, he appears in issue 2 for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wow, look at that. He appeared for 7 pages. Yeah. The scene is pointless. And then we cut away back to the mansion where Hank Pym is in bed. Basically what happened in the previous issue. You have Quicksilver ecstatic at the fact that his sister is dead. And of course, this is one thing Lewis Lovehog did point out. This is kind of dumb for the artist to do. Of how she's placed here. Yeah, where she looks very pouty. Yeah, he pointed that out during his review of this particular issue. And then all of a sudden, like, they're talking for a bit, like he should go back to the Brotherhood. And then the power goes out in the mansion. And then, and I agree with him, this is actually quite smart for Jeff Loeb to write this in story, because I don't think even the Avengers Mansion in 616 had this. where power goes out and the place goes on lockdown. Check, 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 check. And of course, we also see Tony still drunk, and Thor and Valkyrie just had sex. Yep. And then, of course, like, despite the fact the house went complete lockdown, the Brotherhood breaks in. Yep, this is the Brotherhood of the Ultimate Universe. Yeah, and this group's lineup is Mandrix, Lorelei, the Blob, Sabretooth, and Mystique. As for why Sabretooth has his normal claws instead of the animated claws he got in Ultimate X-Men, no explanation why they decided to get rid of that. Just like how they never explain why Venom looks like the way he does in 616. Lorelei, as far as I know, in 616, never joined the Brotherhood. Yeah. And then you see, somehow Mystique, despite the fact she was downstairs in this panel, she's somehow upstairs, and she's the Black Widow, and she, of course, tries to seduce Tony. And then Wasp knocks her out and says, Tony, can you get sobered up? And he says, he's sober enough. And of course, Thor and Valkyrie just get up out of bed, and of course, Valkyrie's getting dressed. And then Lorelei shows up, like, in the very next panel. Lorelei, I'm not sure how she got in the room so quickly. Yeah, tries to hypnotize Thor, try to kill Valkyrie. Yeah, it has a brief fight between the two lovers. And of course, we have it where the Blob is in the kitchen eating something. And then he says something in the next panel. He's seen it like, Wasp, I'm going to eat you up. Yeah. He says this. And, well, I'll get to it when I get a chance for Ultimatum. Yeah, and Iron Man comes up from the floor. Like, he says, didn't you see the sign on the way in? The man to reserve the right to reserve service for anyone. That means you. It's just so funny. And of course we have, Cap like, shoot the wound, Hawkeye. I need at least one of them alive to interrogate. And Hawkeye's like, yeah, you know the best part of killing multiple men? There's plenty more where that came from. He's shooting all the multiple men like crazy. And then Sabretooth comes right behind him and slices at his back. Ouch. And then Cap says one of the most funniest lines of the whole comic. I want you out of this house, Creed. Yeah. And then he says, suck it. And this fight goes on for several pages. And of course he says something that normally Ultimate Cap would do, basically, about his fascist thing. And then Hawkeye says, come on, you SOBs. I'm not going to say exactly what he says. I'm just going to say SOB because I have no idea why Loeb wrote have Hawkeye say that. And of course he has his dumb joke, Greenmore and I win a stuffed teddy. And of course the Multimen want to kill him. And then we see Magneto show up as how he got there. Yeah, completely unexplained how he gets into the mansion. My guess is quick. And yeah, it's later suggested Quicksilver contact him. As for why, I don't know. He says, now it's time to be family. Family? I'm your son, and you shut off my kneecaps. You healed. Wanda did not. Yeah, Ember's one like, are you responsible for her murder? He says, no. He's like, and Laura's like, oh, my head clears. And Hawkeye's like, what? Everybody's like disappeared. And then issue 3 ends with the awesome Wolverine showing up. Like, he says, like before that, he says, I know you think you got a murder to solve, but believe me, you got a bigger problem on your hands. And that's the end of issue number 2. Now, what do I think of these two issues? Well, for one thing, the artwork is actually really good. I enjoy the artwork from Mr. Joe Madureira. The major problem with this series is the writing by Jeff Loeb. Certain scenes are actually quite hilarious. I mean, there's obvious plot holes seen in the first 2 issues alone. I mean, I think I counted when I first read this originally. I think I counted maybe at least 12, 13 plot holes. Even in the first issue, there's at least 7 of them. There's a lot of plot holes. Some of which are never explained by the time the series ends, and a lot of pointless scenes. But there's some interesting fight. A lot of I gotta admit to the artist, he draws action scenes in here really well. Just the dialogue is somewhat repetitious, and at least that Montanaro basically draws the mood very well in this book. Even though it's different artwork from Ultimates 1 and 2, it's still good. The writing is, it's like, you read Ultimates 1 and 2 and then you get to this and you're like, what the heck did I just read? Yeah, so I give issues 1 and 2 of Ultimates 3. Normally I would give these like a 9 out of 10, but because these issues are so bad, I give both of these at least, well, I want to be nice, I give it a 5. Average, at best. Yeah, my lowest rating I've ever gave to a comic book. 5 out of 10 for issues 1 and 2 of Ultimates 3. Alright, stay tuned for part 2, where I'll cover issues 3 and 4. And you can see more crap from this series. Okay? So until then, see you there. Bye.